All right. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
No.
Bethany, you ready?
Yeah.
She's not.
All right.
Oh, I'm not.
You're not? All right. Well, then we'll just go on without you. All right. So, welcome to the Llama Thrust Party Podcast. My name is Chance.
Now featuring video. My name is Christian.
And we have Joe.
I'm Beth.
Joe, say something, you dick. Okay, we'll just go on without Joe. He's not here. He's not here.
I'm here. I'm ready.
All right,
My name's
guys.
Joe.
So, how's everyone's day been?
Hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. I live with my mom and my dad and my dog and family.
Joe, you're the whitest kid we know.
I like bread.
All right, Joe likes bread. How was your day?
It's been pretty good.
She drove to Topeka twice, so it's not true.
Yeah.
I
It's
feel.
fun.
Christian, how's your day been?
I've been cleaning shit so that these little niggers can come over.
He can say that word because...
He technically is black, so it's all good.
Because I'm in the KKK, so that's
White power.
that's all right.
So white power.
terrible reason. Oh my lord, that's not a good reason
So
at
Christian,
all.
are we going to that rally after this?
That makes it less acceptable.
Sweet.
Dude. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we got some topics for today.
Yes, we do.
First topic of the day: how to steal the Mona Lisa. We'll start with Joe because he's being a fuck ass.
Right, and this is going to be some competitive storytelling. Whoever tells the best story will get the win from the judge, who today is going to be Chance, since he has the thing in his hand.
Wait, what?
Chance is the judge. Steal the Mona Lisa.
Well, to steal the Mona Lisa, the first thing that you have to do is you go to the... Well, you go to the United States Embassy in Saudi Arabia and have them take you all the way to the stratosphere, and you skydive but without a parachute. Instead, you will have a wetsuit, because actually you are going to dive deep into the ocean and visit some sharks, make friends with them, and have them swim you all the way to the south of France, where you will then climb a huge fucking cliff and travel all the way to the Louvre. And there, people will ask you, why are you in a wetsuit? And I'm like, dude, I'm American. Therefore, people will say, oh man, he's American. We better not fuck with this dude. Let's just let him in, right? And so you go into the Louvre, you take a really cool picture with the Mona Lisa. However, this is not a normal camera. It's a... Okay.
What is it, Joe?
Well,
you want to tell
I
us?
don't know, man.
You want to tell us?
Come on, bitch boy.
Okay, man. You take the picture, and what it actually does is it dissolves the glass around the Mona Lisa. But people don't know that. How the fuck are they? I mean, it's they don't know. They don't know that. No, they don't. So you, okay.
They don't know that.
So you do that, and then you just leave. You leave. And you let somebody steal the Mona Lisa. And then you do it all again. You go back to Saudi Arabia, have them fly you all the way to the stratosphere, and this time you do have a parachute. You dive all the way down and tackle that guy to the floor, say, nah, bitch, this shit is mine.
Okay.
So I was just gonna
Still,
make.
you just-
I just want to make.
that's
a
how you
comment.
do it.
So I have to leave the Louvre in order to steal the fucking Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
You have to leave.
You let somebody steal it for
leave
you.
The fucking
No,
Louvre
yeah, exactly.
to steal the fucking Mona Lisa.
Exactly, dude. And you go to Saudi Arabia and to the stratosphere.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Pretty crazy.
Anyway.
So Bethany's turn.
Oh man.
Go
This is-
crazy.
This is an interesting topic.
You steal that Mona Lisa.
Like, just think of any action movie, think of anything, and we'll just be like, just make it random and just crazy.
Funny thing, I've actually seen the Mona Lisa in person.
Well,
Aren't
good
you
fucking for
special?
you.
Yeah, and I took a picture with her.
I made the Mona Lisa, so.
She's a babe, though. I couldn't tell what she was thinking. She was very,
But I'm just gonna say right now, the Mona Lisa may be like the most like like awesome thing and stuff. But
It's-
honestly, I would rather go see David because, like, let's face it, like seeing sculptures is a lot cooler.
You know, man.
I mean, think about it, like
The Mona
doing-
Lisa is smaller than you would think.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like
It's not even like.
it's like this, and then like that. That's it. And like you can't even get
Unless you
20
go-
feet.
No,
It's
unless
like
you go.
my desktop background.
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta
seriously.
wait. You gotta. There's a fat ass line, like more people than you've ever seen. A bunch of like French people, like blah 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 blah, blah in your ear.
Now wait, Joe, I have to ask you: are French people assholes towards Americans?
You know,
like
The adults are, and then the young people are the most intelligent, nice, smart. Like
well, that's because
cool
like
people
the
you've
old
ever
people
met.
like are seeing like all these tourists come in. They're like, fucking Americans.
it's because like
Shit.
okay, what if somebody just walked up to you and started speaking in French? Is like, where's Target? And you're like.
It's just like,
Oh my fucking god, speak in English, please. That's what they're feeling like. Because they have a bunch of dumbass tourists like, hey, where's the Notre Dame? And like, you know.
Yeah, I can see why they would be
So
pissed
that's
off
why
and
they're
stuff.
pissed. But the kids, they're the shit, dude.
They're just like, we don't give a fuck.
Okay.
We're young.
Bethany, your turn.
I honestly, I'm still trying to think.
You want me to go?
Yeah, if you could go.
Go,
that'd be
Christian,
great.
go.
All right, Christian, blow my fucking
So
mind, dude.
here's how to steal the Mona Lisa. You see, back in the 1950s,
I don't know.
the
Just keep
Soviet
going.
Union,
I have a weird sense of humor.
the Soviet Union was trying to make up an extreme lack in money that they had, and so they said, "What is one of the most expensive things that we could have?" Well, the Mona Lisa was one of them, but they couldn't steal the Mona Lisa from France, and they couldn't successfully recreate it. And so instead, they invented a rocket called the Mona Lisa. And you see, when we're talking about the Mona Lisa here, that is the true Mona Lisa. It is much more valuable
Damn.
than the painting.
That's true.
Because this rocket ship isn't just any rocket ship. It's more like an intergalactic spaceship. And so,
You're fucking serious?
first you have to go to the
Is he serious?
Kremlin. Or where the Kremlin
You mean Red
used
Square?
to be the old like
USSR.
comm centers
Yeah.
within the Kremlin. And so first you have to get into Russia. And you know, once you go through customs, they're like, fucking American. You know, "Ooh, okay, huh, I'm a bitch, okay, let me through." All right.
I'm a little
It's not a big deal. I'm a bitch, okay. So once you get into Russia, you have to invade the Kremlin. So there's this guy. His name is Uruguchka, and he's standing at the back of the Kremlin. There's going to be a large gate, and he always wears a yellow hat. All right,
Why
you need to
yellow?
go to Uruguchka.
Wait, Christian,
and-
I hate to interrupt you, but why fucking yellow? Shouldn't it be red?
Are you trying to criticize Uruguchka's
I'm
style?
not trying to be like insensitive.
Damn,
and
dude,
stuff.
you're a little bit.
I'm not.
Are you fat? He's fascist.
Okay, well,
Wow.
Chance can't get in because he's got a fucking issue. But
It's a
you
fashion
find
issue.
Uruguchka, all right, and you have to give him some Blue Swan vodka, 90% grain. All right,
Delicious.
that is exactly what he wants. You give it to him. You say, "The day is great," and he will let you in. So once you get into this gate, you can't just waltz into the Kremlin. You're American, retard. So instead, you have to go to the first bush on your right. It'll look like a real bush. It's made of plastic. All right, you gotta brush it aside. Underneath is a hatch. You go inside, pull the bush over in front of the hatch while you go in. It's just a courtesy thing. Come on. All right, so when you get inside, there's
Clean up
going to
after
be
yourself,
a
right?
large cavernous hallway. It's gonna light up as you walk. It's some high-tech shit. You love it. And so on the other side is going to be a thumb scan. Now that's really intimidating, but really you don't put your thumb up to it. You actually put your nose on it. And you don't actually let it scan your nose. When the bar comes to your nose, you push really hard. It'll feel like your nose is gonna break. It's not. Trust me. And it'll break it and it'll open up for you. So on the inside is going to be the Mona Lisa, and it's going to be sitting there in complete darkness. So make sure to bring some glow sticks or something. I should have mentioned that before. Maybe
What,
you're
so we're going to a
inside, it's
grave
all
now?
dark and shit. You're like, what the fuck, man? Bring some glow sticks or a flashlight. You probably shouldn't bring a flashlight because they don't work inside the Mona Lisa because of the magnet on the inside. So
Fucking magnets.
once you walk up around this side, it's the only staircase they have. It's going to have a door. All you need is a crowbar. You can just break that shit open. The only thing that it's supposed to do is keep pressure from breaking it in, not from out. So you just break that shit open with a crowbar, and inside, it's really funny. There's going to be 5 buttons, and they're all the heads of United States presidents.
No shit.
Wait, which
And
heads?
what you do to actually push the buttons is you have to shove your thumbs in their eyes. And so it has to be a thumb, by the way. It's something about the shape. And so what you're going to do is first Abraham Lincoln, Roosevelt, George Bush. They actually have a time machine. They knew George Bush was going to be a president. George Bush, George Clooney. I consider him to be a president. Basically, founding
George
father.
Clooney.
And so
Okay.
after you press that, it's going to be completely within your control. You're going to have psychic abilities that correlate with the Mona Lisa. You can find that
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
That's how you steal the
see that,
Mona
definitely.
Lisa.
But it's a rocket ship though.
Spaceship, intergalactic spaceship.
Damn, dude.
Christian, are you high?
That's how you steal the Mona Lisa, man.
No, I'm just saying, because that's fucking brilliant.
I mean, he would be high
wanna
if
go
he
do
stole
that?
that Mona Lisa. He'd
Shit,
be all the way in space.
we might go do
right?
that after this podcast. Fuck. Sounds like a fun idea.
All right, Bethany.
Bethany,
Mona Lisa.
Bethany, just go simplistic or as detailed as you
I'm
want.
gonna go simplistic.
Sweet.
The way you steal the Mona Lisa, like, you'd have to obviously build a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, that's
you,
simple.
Yeah, you
I
go
like it.
to
Obviously.
the time of the Renaissance and go to Da Vinci, and
Mm.
I'm gonna pull it's more of a more 1700s based France, but I'm gonna be a prostitute,
Nice.
Right.
and
Okay.
I'm going to just seduce him, and then as being the Mona Lisa, like obviously it took years to create. I'm just going to take it from him then, and then go back to the time I'm in now,
Damn.
and
Damn.
I now own the Mona Lisa.
I want to let you know something. Da Vinci was actually gay,
I
so
know.
you would have to be cross-dressing as a man.
Yep.
So that's it's a complicated plan.
Another important thing to add would be that nobody throughout that period of time would have seen the Mona Lisa, and we probably wouldn't know what you're talking about. So
We'd be like, this woman's crazy. But I have to give it to Bethany only because that was actually pretty well done. Because these two motherfuckers thought like the most. You guys have to realize you have to be simplistic with me. Honestly, here's how I would steal the Mona Lisa. I go to France, bitch slap that fucking guard that's right, who's guarding it, and just be like, all right, I'm just gonna steal the fucking Mona Lisa. Boom,
it's
get
the
out there.
chance way.
Yep,
There's the chance way.
just bitch
What
slap
are the
that
chances
guard.
of that working? I don't know.
All right, I'll be the judge on the next question.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna use that every day. There's no
Every
doubt.
day,
Every day.
every day.
Okay. Question number 2. How do you find Atlantis?
Now goes to chance.
Chance, you're up.
Let's see. How would I find Atlantis? Son of a bitch.
That's not the correct answer.
No. I'm just like trying to like think or whatever. But if I had to find Atlantis, I would pretty much go to Travelocity. You know, like that fucking website where you get like
Right, oh.
hotel deals, and then be like, yeah,
Okay.
I want to, see if Atlantis is having an opening or whatever. So, and then go down to Key West or wherever the fuck Atlantis is supposed to be located at, and just stay there.
So convenient, Chance. Good
Damn,
job.
dude.
Yeah. So
Travelocity,
honestly,
guys. We're we're endorsing them right now.
Yeah. We're not sponsored by them.
Great company though.
Yep.
I like them.
I guess.
What do you think, Bethany? What you think? What you think?
How do you get to Atlantis?
Tell us.
The way I would do it is, I would definitely find the most the best drugs you could possibly find,
Nice.
and then I would.
Which would be
Well,
Weed.
acid is one of the. We say weed.
No,
would not work.
that'd have to be some dank ass shit. No fucking way.
Definitely weed, or you could do like weed or not weed. Sorry,
Shrooms?
LSD and then ecstasy at the same time, like
Right.
mix combination.
Sweet.
And then what I would do is like go to Atlanta, Georgia.
No, you're stealing my idea! Oh!
And then
Bethany!
Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Oh my
I
fucking...
hear you.
No, Bethany! That's my idea.
and then what I do is like I
got yoinked,
like I
bitch.
sew my legs like together
Oh, right.
Like
and
mermaid?
like go to like one of those really nice like strip clubs there
Oh,
Mhm.
fuck yeah.
called like Atlantis.
Nice!
That's what I got.
I love it.
Club named Atlantis.
Okay, well,
Sorry, Joe.
I feel like
Joe, you just got fucking yoinked by
I
Bethany.
feel like
I'm
a
sorry.
sellout, but it's slightly similar. I would okay. I would find the biggest eye
Sell out. Sell out.
and
Ooh,
the
hands down.
biggest S on the planet. Go to Atlanta, find their biggest sign that says Atlanta. Take off the A, put the I and the S there, and then it would activate a secret tunnel. I would go under the tunnel and dig myself into Atlantis, where there I would...
Where you would what?
Chance is dangerously close to winning right now.
Where there
Oh, shit.
I would find Davy Jones' locker. And Davy Jones would be like, listen, man,
Is he a hobo?
I don't know what you expected to find, dude, but
Dude.
Atlantis is actually,
He's a
I
fucking
mean,
hobo.
Atlantis is, it's kind of like a McDonald's, really. It's just a little, I mean,
Wait, do they have Shamrock Shakes?
I mean, no,
24/7?
no, they don't. It's
Aw,
just,
then it's not Atlantis.
no, they just have mermaid patties, and it's real fucked up, man. Don't ever go there. I'm just gonna, I'm just like, Davy Jones, you fuck.
He's a hobo. What do you
fucked me
expect?
up. You're fucking me up right now. I'm real
He's a
sad.
hobo. What do you
that's
expect?
that's messed up.
Yeah, David Jones
And
is a
so
hobo.
I'm like, that sucks. So I crawl all the way back up, take away that I and the S, and I'm like, no, put back the A. Atlantis sucks. Nobody likes it.
Okay, so, you see, Chance's way was much more convenient, and I'm gonna have to give it to him. Travelodge is great.
First win of the day.
Hey.
All right, Joe.
Okay, my friends. What helps you get through your creative process as a...
I think Bethany should.
Huh.
Oh, yeah,
go
you first. As a...
We've been ignoring her this entire time.
Oh, it's fine.
Like,
I understand.
yeah.
First,
I'm
kind
a-
of explain what you do and how that is relevant.
I write,
Right.
Nice.
and that would be my creative like skill. And what I do to get through the process is like I enjoy going on runs, and I enjoy like being in nature and being outside. And my best experience outside is like I love being in rain too. So when it's raining outside, I love going on runs, and I like
Nice.
get this big creative burst, and it's usually on rainy days where my creativity just like expands.
Damn, so you've had a few days in a row.
Yeah.
And
I can
what
agree
do you
with
write
that.
about?
It just depends. It can go from psychological like messes to like I don't really know how to explain it.
Like
Um,
Shakespeare
It's like
horror.
introspections.
Yeah, like introspections, and then there's a lot of introverted like thoughts that go into the whole writing process of mine. And I have like I write down ideas and then put all the ideas together into like one big huge
It's like an idea
collage.
patty.
Yeah.
You gotta
Hey.
fry that over the fires of rain.
With SpongeBob.
I like it. What about you, my friend?
All right.
What
well,
do you do, and how do you do it?
Well, Christian and Joe, you guys have seen my art and stuff, like how I do digital sketches.
Never, not once.
Fuck you.
I
No wonder you
haven't
haven't.
seen it. I have no fucking clue what he's talking about.
You guys suck.
Damn, this bitch is crazy.
Man, he's just crazy.
Yeah,
You're
because I,
saying, Chance?
fuck you, and you're so cool.
Oh, thanks.
But for me, how I do creative processes is usually I just listen to a lot of music, and especially like when it's like raining and I'm listening to like a lot of like old rock and stuff like Zeppelin, Floyd, or whatever. I'm pretty much like in my comfort zone, because that's like when I usually do a lot of stuff, or even like when I'm like super down and stuff. Like I feel like if you're down in life and stuff, you get more of a creative process because you're like, oh, I can actually relate to the character that I'm creating and stuff. Like, and basically, it's almost like a reflection and stuff of what's going on around you and stuff. So it's one of those where pretty much TV, music, and video games really also help me out and stuff, like get inspired and stuff. So that's for me.
All right, and for me, it just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I could be acting and I'll need to do one of many things. Sometimes I'll be doing a character in a song, and in the song I will curl up into a ball and move my body until I feel the way that my character needs to during the song. And other times, if I'm doing acting that is not really with songs, then I will just try to convince myself that I am the person that is in that I'm portraying.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
And then if I am writing like a story or something, I will also try to be every person that I'm trying to portray, and try to manipulate my emotions to let me know what they would actually respond with in that kind of a situation. Or if I'm listening to music, then there's a variety of things that I could do to inspire myself. Sometimes I will, of course, go outside. That's wonderful. Other times I will close my eyes and try to think of a bog or a mire, and try to imagine what kind of creatures that I could see in a foreign planet.
Nice.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. I mean, but Christian, Joe, you can agree that like certain music and stuff actually helps like with certain like aspects and stuff, like, so like let's say if you're
Yodeling.
Well, yeah. So like let's say if you're like thinking
Swedish
like,
yodeling, pop R&B,
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Viking metal.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the-
I really love
Gregorian chanting.
trash can beats.
Oh, trash can beats with Gregorian chanting.
And,
That's my
absolutely.
shit.
grindcore with a choir.
Ooh.
I sometimes, to get myself creatively energized, I listen to Anal Cunt.
Nice.
I
That's a good band.
particularly like their song Hitler Was a Sensitive Man.
Nice. Very, very, I like it. The question wasn't actually directed towards myself, but I would like to answer also. When I write, the best way for me to be inspired is I have when I grew up, I had woods behind my house. And so I would always go do stuff like, act like I was a character in Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or Harry Potter and just go play in the woods, and it was really cool. So I'm kind of in love with that type of scenery, so whenever I go write, I go across my house into this creek with vines and really cool trees and stuff like that, and there's actually this tree with a big root that is exactly like a seat. So I just sit there and I write, and whenever I can't think, I just close my eyes, and once it's kind of like I just kind of meditate into it, and it works out really well that way. When I sing, the best thing for me is to be in a place where I can be as loud as possible. So I'll try to go outside or in my car, just so that I don't have any inhibitions. I don't want to, if there's a part in the song where I want to be loud, I don't want to have to be quiet because people are watching. So
I can just imagine people's faces just like.
no, and I'm sure I
You're like, Joe, you suck, fuck you,
No,
Joe.
they're just like right beside your car, and there's
Joel.
like, and you're just like doing like some like really like heavy metal like vocaling or like vocals and stuff.
I think
And
that
they're just like going like, that kid's got some problems, doesn't he? It's like, yeah, probably.
I think
Bleeding guts and death, yeah.
I think that everybody in my neighborhood fucking hates me. They're like, oh, faggot again. Oh my god.
Oh, this fucking kid again.
Totally.
This piece of shit singing again. Oh
and
fuck.
when I write music, a lot of the time I will just
take that ecstasy and
I'll-
shrooms,
Well, actually, I mean,
And then go to
and
Atlantis.
then you become a mermaid and pretend to swim on a stripper's pole.
yeah,
in
With
Atlanta,
Davy
Georgia.
With Davy Jones being the hobo.
totally, all of that. All of that. They were right. I have nothing to add to that. So,
Oh my fucking god.
I think in the end,
Oh,
I'm going to give
God.
this question to Christian because he kind of immerses himself so readily. He's not afraid of that shit. So,
I gotta, yeah.
So far, we've got almost a completely even split. We've got Bethany with 1 point, Chance with 1 point, me with 1 point, Joe with no points.
Oh
guess-
shit, he's
I
the bottom
guess-
bitch.
I
You're the
guess
bottom bitch.
I guess I'm.
You're the bottom
yeah,
bitch.
Yeah, I'm the bot. He said it. Musical experiences.
Okay, yeah. So the next topic is musical experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What specifically?
So, like,
what
the
is the
topic
most
is
memorable?
Yeah.
memorable or worst thing that you
Or
can,
best.
yeah.
Okay.
So, like, concerts or listen to a song that made you, like, feel like,
Well,
oh,
I
shit.
know that Joe is going to win this already.
God damn it.
I have a lot
Yeah.
actually. Here's one. I bought 2 tickets to a 30 Seconds to Mars concert, one for my dad and one for me. And it was in St. Louis, which is a 5-hour drive away from where I live. So I'm like, Dad, let's leave real fucking early. And he's like, fuck that shit. Let's get there late. So I'm like, oh, cool, nice. So we drive all the way there, and I get there in time to see their very last song played, and it happens to be my favorite song. And the singer says, I'm gonna let the craziest motherfuckers up on stage. So naturally I turned into a complete fucking
So
savage.
you had, like, your arms flailing. just,
No,
like,
yeah, I was jumping like 6 feet
So
in
you
the
look like
air.
this Tuscan Sand Raider
I
or
was
whatever.
like going
Yeah, you
fucking
turned into a fucking
insane.
Tuscan Raiders.
I
What
turned
happened?
into the
A
walrus.
Decepticon.
Yeah.
I turned into the walrus from Tusk. I turned into an Urgle from like fucking the Inheritance series. I was every nasty thing you can think
He
of.
turned into an Urukai from the Lord of the Rings.
I did. I was the guy who got his head cut off by Aragorn. I was
he
insane.
turned into the kid in the back of the short bus who's just flipping his
No,
shit.
yeah, I turned into yeah, exactly. That was me, and so he called this huge crowd up on stage, and then he stopped, and I was like, oh, please, I'm so tired. Like my heart was racing. I thought I was gonna have a stroke. Like I was so fucking tired by that time.
Oh man.
But he said, I'm gonna let one more person on stage. So I resume my crazy shit. But he actually calls 3 people on stage. He points to me and says, the guy with the crazy hair and the big glasses. At that point, I had, some big,
You had
big
the fro.
spiky hair. Yeah, some crazy shit. And then he calls 2 other girls on stage.
Nice.
And as we're climbing on, my polite ass lets the 2 girls on first. And then the security guard holds my arm and says, nah, you can't go on. There's too many people on stage. So I'm like, oh my fucking
You just
God.
got
Do
yoinked.
you realize what
You
you
just got
did to
cock
me?
blocked.
Yeah, I was like,
They just soiled your fucking
I just had
dream.
nothing to say. Like, I just went
That's
back in the
They
bad.
crowd.
soiled
I
it.
was real fucking pissed. But I tried to enjoy myself as hard as I could during that performance.
But the entire
During-
time you were just pissed off.
It was fun. It was fun. I just kind of tried to enjoy it. Yeah, I had this deep resentment in me, though.
A black pit of despair and anger.
Yeah, dude. So to try to make up for that, I waited outside their tour bus to try to get like. Oh wait! Before that, actually, they said that anybody that buys their new CD can get it signed by the entire band. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do that." I bought the CD, got in line. It took like 2 hours. The crowd was fucking enormous. So I finally got to, the table. They all signed it, and as I was walking away, I don't know why, the singer just was like, "Hey," I turned around. He was like, "Have a good holiday," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" He
Yeah.
called me out. That's pretty damn cool. And then I went outside and kind of just waited for their tour bus for them to come out in their tour bus. The only person who actually came out was their guitarist. He's a cool ass dude though. My phone died, so I did not get to take a picture of him.
Oh.
with me. So I asked somebody else to do it. I said, here's my email. Please send me a link. And they did not. So I got a picture with the guitarist, but they did not send me the picture, so I have no proof.
You kept getting like lucky, but then it's like it got yoinked every fucking chance you got.
I got lucky in some ways, but every time somebody was like,
you got fucking
fuck this guy.
Yeah, you got teased, dude. You got fucking like you got your dick like slightly tugged and
I was
teased.
pretty pissed. That was a bad experience in a very memorable way. Had some sparks of awesomeness. However, my favorite concert that I've ever been to, I went to a Slipknot concert with Korn. Korn, I don't like them in studio, but whenever I see them live, they just do
Fucking
some shit
insane.
that makes me love them. Like, I don't know what it is. They just make me want to fucking dance. So I actually went to that concert with my twin brother. We sat in the bleachers, watched the first opening act, and we were like, damn, this is tight. And then I left for the, he bought a ticket that was in the stands, and I bought a pit ticket so that I can mosh and shit. It was real fucking crazy. Like, my shirt was in tatters. I had bruises all over my fucking back. Like, I was fucked up. My hair was in, like,
you just looked like you just came
like
out of
a
Fight
state
Club.
of disarray.
my hair was, like, matted, and, like, I was like, damn, I'm fucked up.
So you
And the
look like
craziest
Jared Leto.
part, a little bit,
Yeah.
the craziest part was I dropped 2 tabs of acid that night before I saw that concert, and it hit right when Korn played their craziest song where he just like starts like making animal noises and shit. Like, it was insane. So I just like started tripping balls. It was fucking crazy.
That was.
And I guarantee you, I was the craziest person in the crowd, probably crazier than anybody on stage. I was having the time of my fucking life. And then Slipknot came on, and like I was just sitting there like tripping balls, and like these 9 fucking crazy motherfuckers come on stage, and I just feel like I'm a little tiny speck with like 9 crazy
Like gods
masked
coming
people looking down on me. I'm like, oh my fucking god! And like the first song that they played, like I guarantee you, every single person in the crowd was in the pit. It was all a pit. Like, it was fucking insane.
Well, that's a Slipknot concert for you.
And I had no water with me. So after the 4th song, I was like, I legitimately think that if I don't get out of this crowd and leave right now, I'm going to die of dehydration. But I was like, I'm going to go through with it. So I did. And after the 6th song, I was like, am I actually going to die? I started trying to leave. I was scared for my fucking life. Like, I really thought that I was going to die. But they were just playing songs that I could not ignore. Like, I was almost out. They started playing these crazy songs. I was like, I gotta do it. So I just went all the way to the front. And I just remember crazy shit happening. Like, I would go into the pit. I started going crazy. And I remember jumping like 3 feet up. And this huge dude just comes and barrels me. And I went flying like 6 feet. I land on my ass. And people like the whole crowd went like silent, and they're like, "Oh my fucking god,
that
is
kid's
he dead? Like, is he
he's
dead?"
fucking dead.
No, but they picked me up, and I'm like, put me up, let me crowd surf." And they're like, "Oh my god, he's fucking insane." So I start crowd surfing. It was the greatest thing ever. I loved it.
Nice.
Greatest concert of my life. It was
like,
crazy.
maybe if we let him crowd surf, he won't assault us.
It was crazy, man. But I just remember
Get
thinking
let's
like,
get 100 likes, and then we'll let Joe crowd surf with those 100
yeah,
likes.
it was some crazy shit. Craziest night of my life. Like, my heart was pumping way too fast. Like, the whole time I felt like I was floating 3 inches off the ground. Like,
It was that Nirvana
I was
feeling.
dancing like I was insane. Like, I was doing some animal rituals and shit.
You were summoning your
This
spirit
lady
animal.
walked up to me and grabbed my nipples because I got so tired that I had to take like all my clothes off and just like wrap it around my waist.
She's like, you got a nice taste.
She just
little
walked
boy.
up and grabbed my nipple, and I was like, okay.
I'm just surprised she didn't have that smoker voice be like, you got nice titties.
Crazy
little
night.
boy."
Best night of my life, most likely. I like it.
I
Very
got you.
nice.
All right, I'm next. Fuck chance.
Ew.
All right, so I have a friend who is dating a guy that is in a band, and when this was happening, their band was going to be the headliner in the first show that they've been the headliner forever. And so I said, I'll support that. That's cool. And I took a few people along with me. I took my bassist and my drummer and one of his best friends who was just about to become a Marine. And so we all go to the show. We enjoyed all the first bands that came through. But then the last band, the headliner, comes on. And, they're talking to the crowd. They're like, hey, how's it going? And then our friend who is going to become a Marine goes,
this is crazy.
Hey, how about on the first song, even if it's not heavy, we start moshing? And then, like, him and my drummer start, like, jokingly pushing each other around. It's so obvious that it's ridiculous that they're not actually doing this, because they're the only two that are doing it, and they're taking giant leaps and, like, flying away from each other like they're being pushed by the Force.
Force unleashed
but
on this
then
one.
the bassist walks up to the microphone, the bassist for the headliner, and he's like, hey, fucking faggots better stop that bullshit. And they're like, it's a joke. He's like, stop it! All right, calm down. And so that's the only interaction they had before the third song that they played. And during the third song, the bassist rushes in the middle of a song and slams the soon-to-be Marine over the head with their bass so hard that it cracks the neck.
Like, does anybody know how heavy a fucking
Bass guitar
electric
is.
bass guitar is? Oh my fucking god.
I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out,
Yeah.
and he actually had to go to the hospital while he was in boot camp. But that stopped the entire show, and we're all just sitting there like,
Yeah.
why did you do that? He was doing nothing. He wasn't even moving.
Yeah.
And
He
like
was
the
the
whole
easy
time,
target.
like Isaac,
Shout out
his
to
name's
Isaac.
Isaac.
Shout out to Isaac.
I love you, Isaac. Whatever.
Isaac, you're the shit.
Isaac was extremely level-headed. He could have been amazingly angry and assaulted this guy, and no one would have cared, I assume. But he was really level-headed. He's like, hey, why did you hit me on the head with your bass?
He was just so
And
calm about it.
He got in his face until they were out in the parking lot, and he got a baseball bat out of his trunk. Luckily, Isaac talked him down, and the rest of the band members took him away. But that is... I went to a show where I actually invited half the people that went, including the guy that ended up canceling the headliner.
Let's make something clear though. Isaac, the guy who got hit, is a 6'7" monstrous guy. Like, he could have fucked him up,
Let's-
but
He
didn't.
could have fucked him up.
He could have thrown him across the room. Like, he's so fucking strong.
Like, I think he was a good 5 inches taller
Yeah,
than this
like,
bassist,
it was-
and the bassist was fat, and he was wearing like
Chubby.
a bathrobe.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
So he looked like one of those people that you see on like Craigslist who is like offering like sex or something.
Yeah,
Just
dude,
feel
he's
some,
like just.
creepy
I mean,
pedophile.
like, but
He could have murdered him.
he was
I
a
yeah.
cool ass
really
guy
think.
and just didn't do anything. I don't know why. I don't know.
So
Alright.
that is
Crazy.
my most memorable experience with music.
All
Give
right.
it a chance.
All right. So I actually got 2 stories. One of them happened in 2010. So this was a while back ago, but this was like when I started kind of developing more of my taste in music and stuff. So at the time, like I actually got these tickets wherever it was for Roger Waters, who is the lead singer of Pink Floyd, and basically it was he was coming into town and he was playing The Wall, which happened to be the album that I had pretty much fallen in love with because it was like a story about an introvert and just just all this stuff about his life. But like I got that on my birthday and stuff. Like I got the tickets, so the concert actually was supposed to happen October 30th. So like fast forward to October 30th, and not only was there a bunch of people in fucking costumes and stuff, which is kind of cool and stuff, but I was also seeing The Wall. But what ended up happening was, like, the guards that night gave no fucks. They were like, because, like how in the Sprint Center you can't smoke or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guards...
But they do. People smoke in the Sprint Center.
Oh, yeah. Like, no, there was, like, a bunch of fucking people, like, smoking ganja and shit, and the guards were like, whatever,
Yeah.
we don't care.
Half the people have jungle juice.
Yeah, they have the devil's lettuce. But, so I went to see... I went to go see that concert, and honestly, that was like such a beautiful concert because just how they did like all the visuals and stuff. Like they were building the wall like as each song progressed and stuff. So you could
brick
see
by
like
brick.
yeah, by brick, and they'd have like visuals on like the brick wall and stuff. So it'd have like war scenes and stuff, like,
Fuck yeah.
and just some of like the visuals were just beautiful to look at.
Sounds
And
pretty badass.
oh yeah, and honestly, that was like one of those concerts where I'm like, if I ever get a chance to go see that again, I so fucking would.
Damn, dude.
But the other concert was a more recent one, which
Marilyn
is
Manson.
Marilyn Manson, Alice Cooper last year. That was a fucking great concert. Like, because for me, like, I love Alice Cooper because he's like the old shock rock and Manson's like the new shock rock.
Yeah.
But what was kind of cool was I got to see Alice Cooper, you know, still rocking out in his old self and stuff. Like, he had like super tight leggings on and stuff. That he looked like one of those people like you'd see like in like the carnival and stuff or whatever.
Classic.
Yeah, so he had like the stripes and stuff on, and it was kind of cool and stuff to see that. But he also put on like a hell of a performance. Like he had like, you know, like he was like building Frankenstein or whatever, and then he had like this one song where I think it's the Ballad of Dwight Fry, which is like it's about a guy who's like going insane or whatever, or he's like in an insane asylum. He gets out, and you know he can't adapt to the outside world because he's been in there so long. But when Alice and Manson, like when they were trading off or whatever, Manson and Alice actually sang in a duet or whatever. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
That's the shit.
But what was actually kind of cool was apparently it was supposed to rain that night, and it was supposed to be like, you know, like it was supposed to be thundering and lightninging and just all this.
Lightning.
Yeah, that's gonna be a word now.
Thunderizing.
I just butchered the English language. You're welcome, America.
Yeah. Okay.
But so what happened was it started raining and stuff, just kind of like in that warm like summer rain, like that beautiful fucking like feeling and stuff.
That's badass.
So you could just see like the lightning and stuff just coming all around you and stuff. I hate you so. I'm gonna hit you so fucking hard.
Look, dude, all I'm saying is lightning.
You're not gonna let me live that one down. It's all right. But what happened was he was playing Personal Jesus, which, if you know, is originally a Depeche Mode song. But what they did was, while it was raining, they had like all the lights going on and stuff because it was kind of dark out and stuff. So while it was raining and stuff, it looked like all the lights were shining off like the rain and stuff. Like, so it looked like diamonds and like rubies and sapphires and emeralds coming down. And I mean, it was just so beautiful to look at, and just feeling that rain and stuff coming on you and stuff, and also just hearing like Manson sing that. Like, it was one of those experiences where it was like, holy shit, this is fucking like just mind-blowingly beautiful.
Yo, this is for fucking real.
Yeah, it was.
That's what he said.
Hashtag. Like, so basically, that was like one of those experiences where I don't think I'm ever gonna have that again, but I will say, after he played that song, I started noticing just a bunch of this, like, because I had, like, a bunch of, like, I saw, like, all the crowds and stuff. Like, you saw the old rockers, you saw, like, the new metal people, you saw the goths, you saw the emos, you saw everyone. All
them emus.
The emus. The National Rail emus.
Saw them emus. I tell you what.
Tell you what. I saw them emus.
I went to that Alice Manson concert. Saw them emus.
And that's all I have to say about
smoking their devil eggs.
Actually, it was funny because one of the bands that had come on earlier, they were like, "It smells like ganju around here." Like, they
I
fucking
wonder fucking why.
Yeah, it's like, and it was
Alice
funny.
Manson concert.
Yeah, pretty much, or Manson Cooper concert.
Manson Cooper.
But I remember seeing like the lights or whatever kind of shining like where we were at and stuff. I remember seeing this just river of just black and stuff, and I was like thinking, that's probably fucking mascara and hair dye.
I think that's true, dude.
Yeah, I was like, oh my fucking, it looked like black sludge.
No, it
like,
was actually
running.
armpit sweat of the goths.
Yeah, it really was. I was like, oh my god, it was just black sludge and tar looking.
What people don't realize is that goths actually bleed black.
That's true.
But
and they also like their
all
coffee black.
goths are self-harming. Therefore, they do it in unison. It's like a church thing.
Also, when they go to Starbucks, they like their coffee black just like their metal. Just saying.
Hey, I have something interesting to point out. Both of those headliners have the name of a woman.
Yeah, and
Alice and Marilyn.
Mm-hmm, and they're both shock rock.
Yeah.
Like, one's like the new generation shock rock.
It's pretty badass.
And what was kind of cool was seeing Alice and Manson together. It was like, I just listened to all of these songs, wherever they're really supposed to like just bring like shock and horror and stuff into it. So it's supposed to be about crazy people or just, you know, sodomy and cake or whatever. You know, like all like. Or
It is time for cake and sodomy.
pretty much, like he actually sang that
My
one.
favorite type of time of the day.
Hell yeah.
I am the god of fuck.
Okay.
It's true.
Pretty much.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I really gotta fucking pee.
All right.
All right.
It looks like there's gonna be a break for now, but let's have Bethany decide who won that.
I'm gonna have to say that was hard, but I'm gonna have to say Joe because
All
He
right.
got
with
to meet,
his-
he
got to meet.
his idols and
Yeah,
stuff.
so
But he got like.
and he was like really level-minded with it. Like if I were in his position, I would have been so pissed off.
I
would have had to
know,
have left.
right? I would just been like, "Are you fucking?"
So that brings us to a complete tie. Everybody has 1 point. So that is Joe 1, Beth 1, Chance 1, me 1. So I suppose we will actually use that question and have everybody decide who wins. And I guess we'll decide what the winner and the loser will have to do whatever in the future, or maybe at the end of this, who knows.
I wanted to say like something about my musical experience.
Yeah. Go on.
My cousin, she's like a big, huge. She's the CEO of a moisturizer company.
Oh yeah.
Down in Florida, and
Nice.
she was recently dating Nick Cannon's manager.
Really?
Yeah, and then she came over. Because she comes from Florida to Kansas every like winter break, and she came and she was like, "Oh, Beth, I'm dating a new guy. He's a musician." I'm like, "Okay," and she's like, "Yeah, he's really popular." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, he does rock." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I wonder who it is, because she wouldn't tell me who it is. And then she
just
like,
left it a big old mystery.
yeah, and I was
stuff.
like getting my hopes up, and then she handed me a disc, like it's a brand new disc, it's never been released.
Mhm.
And I've come to fucking realize that it's Tech 9, and you have no idea
Oh my god.
how fucking disappointed I was. Like when I found out he was.
no.
Excellent.
Yeah. I
Oh
was
man,
so
you had your hopes
upset.
up. You're just like, it's gonna be something like really cool,
You're
like
like-
from Chevelle.
Yeah, I was. Like I was so.
Just hyperventilating,
mad.
just like internally raging and stuff. You're just like, are you fucking serious?
You
Just walk out. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Like when I found out he's headlining
Rockfest. this
Rockfest,
year.
I was
I was-
so like.
I know.
are
I
you
was like,
kidding me?
everyone at my work or whatever. Like, some people are gonna go see Rockfest or whatever.
I am back.
Oh, hey Joe. We didn't see you there. But some of the people are gonna go to Rockfest
What
this
was
year.
the verdict?
We haven't decided yet.
it's an all time. It's an all time. You got a point.
But back to what I was saying was some of the people that I work with or whatever, they're gonna go see that, and we all are kind of in agreement. We're like, why the fuck is Tech 9 coming? Like, this is Rockfest, not
I was
Rock.
talking about how my cousin's dating Tech 9, and she refused.
Really?
Yeah.
You know,
The Llama Thrust Party Podcast does not officially support Rockpest. Rockpest.
also, we do not officially endorse Tech 9 either.
Nor are we sponsored by either.
Also, we're white. Just saying.
I remember Tech 9 always used to visit my school, my old high school, before I came to Kansas, and like I had a friend who features on one of his albums. It's pretty insane.
Which album?
He's a rapper.
It actually turns out that Bethany and I are the whitest out of all of us, in actuality.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
We're
are
the
the
whitest.
You guys are the whitest kids we know.
Damn.
And you went to Olathe East, didn't you?
Yeah,
That's sad.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
White ass motherfucker. Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
remember we actually grew.
White bread, sourdough,
I remember like we grew Kush one time though. That was
mayonnaise, cracker.
Did you?
Yeah, we actually grew Kush or whatever.
No
LEDs.
fucking way.
Yeah, that was years ago. But I remember like, cause it smelled like
In
bubblegum. Like,
horticulture?
yeah, like here's the fucking thing about this Kush that apparently we were growing, cause it smelled like fucking bubblegum, like on the leaves. I was like, that's pretty awesome. But
Bubblegum Kush.
but
Bubblegum Kush.
it was kind of weird because like the roots smell like cucumbers. I'm like, and to this day I'm like, how in the fuck is that possible to make like it smell like bubblegum? I mean, I know there's like chemicals and stuff that you know you can put into plants, but it's still.
Insane.
But I'm like, this is a witchcraft voodoo shit right here, man.
Yeah, some crazy sorcery.
I tell you what.
Some
Alrighty.
sorceress.
Let's see. We're gonna go off the air for just a second. It's gonna be a jump cut for anyone who's watching the video. We'll be back. We're gonna take a slight break for a moment.
Yeah.
There was
dude.
dubstep frogs last night. Like these frogs were like doing like yeah, but it was like multiple ones, but they all had different like boat like styles and stuff.
Tonalities and
Yeah,
shit.
I was like, did they just somehow get like a Skrillex CD or something and just start like
That's
going,
badass, dude.
this is our god now? If you want to take the time to click out of this video, do it now.
No, don't do it. Don't leave us. We love you.
Christian,
Oh my god, my heart is breaking. Don't leave me.
sponsored by Christian's Broken Heart. Remember, Christian has broken heart.
This video is sponsored by my broken heart, guys.
It's the new cologne or whatever essence of Christian's Broken Heart. It's just black.
I wasn't aware that he still had a heart.
Damn. Yeah, but sexy she devils are gonna fuck you when you go to hell. Just remember that.
Maybe I don't want to go to heaven.
Dude, well, in heaven,
I like sexy she devils.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, hell sounds a lot more funner, doesn't it?
Funner is definitely not a
Funnerist.
word.
Funnerist more than
Fuck you.
is.
Lightning.
Yeah,
Please.
exactly. I mean, I feel like if you like when you go to heaven or whatever, like you just get your entire like you don't have air like nips or like basically any genitalia or ass and stuff. So basically, you're just fucking a mannequin is what you're doing and stuff. Like, I'm just saying,
When you
dude.
go to hell, you are a mannequin.
No, I'm saying that's heaven.
Oh, that's heaven?
Yeah, hell basically it's a free for all,
Oh, but okay, so heaven, you're like a Barbie doll.
pretty much. But in hell, you basically are getting fucked like constantly by she devils and she men.
All right.
I'm
Take-
just
Take
saying.
this as fact, everybody.
No, I'm just saying.
It's true. It's been confirmed. In
Half-Life
hell,
3
you get
confirmed.
fucked by she devils.
That sounds like a brand of cologne.
It's
though.
true. I'm telling you.
Fucked by she devils. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Chance confirmed that when you go to hell, you get fucked by she devils.
Wow. I mean, if Chance says it.
Ready?
Chances
All
are.
right.
All right, and we're back.
So we're back. We're going to have a segment where you describe how you would become the president.
And what would you do while you were said president?
Yes.
How would you run? Like,
All right, Chance, go.
fuck. Okay, so how I become president? Someone would have to get assassinated first in order for me to, get to that position, or people would just. Well, the government's already fucking us already, so I probably could be president here soon. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I'm sure you're 35 right now.
Yeah, chance for president 2016. Take a chance on that one, but
Oh,
yeah,
Uh,
this why I'm not getting laid. But
Or elected.
yeah, pretty much.
hey.
But so pretty much someone would have to get assassinated or some bullshit like that. So for me, first day as office, I would pretty much be like at like like the Oval Office or whatever it's fucking called, like, and
Oh, the whatever it's fucking called.
Dude,
Oh.
I've been there before.
yeah, it's a fucking great place. They had really cool like spoons and pens.
Great
and stuff.
ambiance.
Yeah,
Mm,
really shitty people, but great ambiance.
right. Okay.
So I'd be sitting in that office or whatever, and like you see the button for like nuclear holocaust or whatever, and somehow I would.
I'm just so confused where we are and what we're doing, Chance.
No, okay, so continue, Chance. I
Please
like it.
continue.
All right, so I'd be like pulling a Homer Simpson right here and just setting my coffee cup like right on this thing, which would be like the button for like the nuclear holocaust. It had the big old like shiny red button.
It looked like
a
a cup holder, man.
Yeah, I mean
That's
it
what
had
it
like the skull and shit on it, but I'd be
A
like.
raised surface looked like a cup holder.
Yeah, so for me, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna set my coffee on here, like no big deal, just reading, the funnies and the comics and stuff, all the good shit,
Yeah.
and then totally just completely nuke, wherever the fuck it happens.
Charleston.
Nuke Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston and Cleveland because
Mhm.
Cleveland.
Sorry,
Hail
Cleveland.
Satan.
You're getting fucked by the she devils here earlier,
Mm.
but or later, but anyway.
You're mixing up the times now, Chance.
Give it the times, me. So pretty much I'd set that down, and just a whole nuclear holocaust would happen. So Fallout would happen, Ron Perlman would be narrating, and so that's how I'd become president and what would happen. So the whole world's gonna be fucked in about 4 seconds of me being elected.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm a great president, by the way.
Yeah, you are.
Vote independent.
Okay. Vote for Chance 2016.
Take a chance, people.
Bethany, how would you become the president?
See, the thing is, I would not become president.
She's gonna be my vice.
And how would you not do that?
See, I'm not a very
Leaderish.
patriotic person as it is.
A vote not for Bethany is a vote for freedom.
Yeah, like I would move. Like
Fall Out
I
Boy.
don't like living. I'd move to Canada, the closest place.
Canada's getting nuked first when I become president. I'm just saying that right now. Sorry, Canada. Nice people, but all you have is hockey and snow. Sorry.
Moose are really cute.
There's the
And
verdict.
moose.
No, only hockey and snow.
What fucking sand niggers?
So we had to start this recording over again. So
We're sorry.
Just bear
We
with
talk
us.
too much. We talk too much.
So Bethany was telling us why she's actually a communist and you should not vote for her.
This communist dictatorship is ruining our country.
What drugs are you taking?
Bethany,
Are you selling to him?
Bethany, are you following along with any of these faggots? What they're saying?
I mean, they're not wrong.
Bethany, are you selling or are you dealing?
So she's saying though, she would not become a president because.
Well, because like it's stressful and this country's already fucked as it is.
Mm.
Might as well not
I've had-
make it worse. Like it's not.
Just nuke it from orbit, just be sure.
Yeah.
That's some nihilistic pussy shit. Some good old American values.
America.
That'll fix the country.
America.
Yeah,
Where,
what happened to those good
America,
old
where
family
everyone's
values?
fat and where everyone basically has their own opinion
Women
about
are
things.
forced to, get married,
Right.
have children.
Gay children, actually. Joe?
Luckily, there's a Family Guy.
Oh God. No. No.
Joe, would you like to tell everybody how you would become the president?
Wait,
What
you
would
just
do?
can't offset
Um,
that shit.
Well, the way that I'll become a president is to first establish the idea that we didn't say president of what.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
No, we never did.
We never said that.
Yeah, we just
So I would become the president of.
dildos or us.
No.
I think that's a fitting presidency, actually.
Mhm.
Dildos or
Well,
us?
Dildos or
I
us.
would
think it's for you,
go.
Joe.
I would go
Dildos.
make my own country. I would go all the way to like the backwoods New Zealand where they filmed like the awesome
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings shit, and then I would build my own Hobbit home, and from then I would
It's
start.
gonna be really big. Hobbit
Good
home.
luck
Yeah.
with that shit.
Yeah.
No, I would build
Sorry.
my own Hobbit home, and then become president of the
What are you gonna name your little
New Shire.
New Shire?
New Shire.
New Shire.
New
All right.
Shire.
So, what I would do
Okay.
to become the
Nope, your
president
argument's
of the
invalid.
United States of America is first, I have to go back in time 15 years so I can wait until I turn 35 in 2016. Simple enough. Just make a time machine and do it. It's not that hard. And so that's the first step. The second step is first, I have to have sex with every female candidate or male if they're gay that could be running against me, so they all feel a little bit of guilt
Sorry,
if they
Christian.
actually trounce me.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I have to be the one giving all of the time. So
All
really,
the
whenever
time.
we're having sex, like maybe they're not into it at first. They will be. It's fine. They'll be into
I
it.
mean, they probably have
Just really firm everything. They got to know the rules when they go in, of
Well,
course.
duh, you just can't be like.
No, you just can't do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so that's the first step. Make everybody endear me in some level, but in a fearful kind of way. And so then anyone that goes up against me, I actually recorded every single time I had sex with someone, but I wore a bag on my head every time. So I've got blackmail on all of them. And
Ew.
so
Christian, you're fucked up, man.
Christian,
that's all you got to do to become the president. All
Christian,
right?
if you're gonna run against me, then we're gonna have a hard time because I'm sorry, I'm already married to both my hands. dude.
And as the president, I would
both
make it
his hands, he
mandatory
says.
to
Yep.
be gay and to have gay children.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, is that okay? So you would adopt them, and then
Hail Satan.
and you would and Christian would say, "I'm currently on wedlock with my gay boyfriend who works at."
No, that is not what I would say because that is copywritten.
Oh
Yeah.
right, it's copywritten. Shit.
We're sorry, Kingsman. We're very sorry.
Kingsman, we're sorry. We
We're
don't
sorry.
endorse Kingsman.
But we like the movie.
We like the movie,
We
it's
love
great.
the movie. I have it on VHS.
No, I endorse the Kingsman. They do not sponsor us.
I didn't make that quote. It was actually Kingsman. Fuck it.
By the way,
I'm
I have that
ashamed.
movie on VHS. Just
It's
letting
great.
everybody
If
know.
you,
Oh, fuck you, Joel.
it's great. Watch
Fuck your mother and a fucking asshole.
That's copywritten.
That's copywritten.
No,
Shut up, it
it was
is.
said on the news.
That's copywritten.
Alrighty
Some,
then.
some fucking poor soul had to write that shit. You know that?
It's true.
Boom.
Well, fuck him and his mother in their assholes.
Yes.
So.
All right.
So
There you go. Vote for me for mandatory being gay children, and hailing Satan.
Vote for me. If you come with me, you can get high off that dank ass hobbit weed. And
Actually, if I were the president, you would be mandatorily smoking weed 24/7.
no,
Or
see,
day.
no.
No.
You
And
have.
and the government would administrate free heroin.
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
That's
That-
sweet.
And
That's-
actually, every single time you get into a car, it doesn't let you start it until you put your hand through the hypodermic needle.
Nice.
If I'm president, you get your own ring of power.
And everyone gets free AIDS.
I was just gonna say,
Hail Satan.
Okay.
damn. You might as well just do the Nixon doing that shit.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone should vote for me because shit, Ron Perlman would be narrating our demise of Fallout.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Ron Perlman's amazing, but Fallout. Sorry, those Cazadors, dude. They
Yeah,
just,
man.
They just come and stab. They shank you in the butt. They shank you in the butt.
They shake your butt.
Terrible.
All right. That is the conclusion. Don't vote for any of them. Vote for me.
Vote
Hail
for me.
Satan.
Thank you.
This has been the Llama Party Podcast.
Hella. Christian, no, you're in the way. Nobody wants your afro.
I'm what?
Nobody wants your afro.
What?
Nobody wants your.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
Nobody wants your
Oh.
afro.
Christian, why's your dick
Right
out?
here. His dick in his.